come spend a garden morning with me before we actually have to go to our 9 to 5. So to address the elephant in the room, I am large and in charge, weeks pregnant. And how am I feeling? Well, like this apron needs a little more room. That'll work. First things first, we need to free these squash from their insect netting prison. Whew. Okay, she can breathe. Tomorrow I'll come back and once it's kind of freed itself, and I will gather this around the stem to protect that big main stem. Talk about how tall this thing is. I mean, I'm not that tall, but like this thing's huge. There's also fireflies that like to hide on the stalk in the shade during the day, and I don't know why, it makes me really happy. We're gonna finish pulling the majority of the plants out of this bed because I'm over it. Even though this plant had peppers on it, they literally were never gonna get any bigger than this, and for whatever reason, the root systems on these beds just were really sad. And since I have heavier clay soil with big taproot plants like tomatoes, I will actually cut them at the base and leave the root to decompose in the ground because it's really good for your soil. And when I do fall tomatoes, I actually only do determinate or sauce tomatoes because I just don't think that like big heirloom slicer tomatoes taste the same when they're ripened in the colder weather versus the hot weather. Personal preference. Weeds in that bed, I'm gonna have to ask my husband to pull because last time I got after the weed pulling, I pulled a rib muscle. So we're not doing that again. This basil plant's like one of the few things that went really right in my garden this year. I should have harvested it like a week ago, but I didn't. Sometimes basil can get really bitter when it gets hot out, so let's fucking see how this goes. It's still good. Okay, let's cut some of this. So this will end up as a really big batch of pesto that'll get frozen and put in the freezer in whiskey ice cube trays so that we can enjoy it for however long we have it. The last thing I have to do this morning out here is hand water, which takes me the longest, but my roses and my blackberries are thirsty. My orchard is pretty thirsty, and so it's going to take me a while, but it's a great time to throw on a podcast. And please don't forget, you can make the garden fit into your life, whether you have a garden of this size or you just have one garden bed. No matter what, please grow something.